everybody, welcome back to our channel. We are the Movie Couple. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And here's our review for Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Johnny Depp and Jeffrey Rush are back for this 5th installment of Pirates of the Caribbean. Once again, somebody else is after Captain Jack Sparrow, and this time is the very, very scary Captain Salazar. And the only way for Jack to survive is to find the powerful artifact that is called the Trident of Poseidon. So Dustin, in this movie, we see two brand new characters, one by the name of Henry Turner, that is Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann's son, and a new female character named Karina.
This is the 5th installment of the Pirates movie. So we are going to have, certain expectations going into this movie. What were some of your expectations of going into it?
Well, I remember watching the first trailer and being like, okay, I can kind of be into it, but I thought that Javier Bardem's character looked a little too CGI. But as more and more TV spots and trailers came out, the more and more I was like, I think this is going to be the one that turns the tide from, no pun intended, honestly, no pun intended, from the previous movie, which is On Stranger Tides. And as it got closer to the release, I was more and more excited. I knew that Orlando Bloom was rumored to be back in this movie, as well as Keira Knightley. My favorite, Jeffrey Rush, was back in this movie. So, I was starting to have good faith, and I more and more also bought into what Javier Bardem, aka Captain Salazar, looked like. I liked how his hair was flowing as if he's underwater. I understood, as the more plot was revealed through the trailers, why he looked the way he looked and why he is as CGI'd as he is. What about you?
I kept my enthusiasm really, really low, but also it was because none of the stuff actually got me excited about the movie. I was not having high expectations. With me, I was also... I kind of like the idea of a ghost pirate. I was like, okay, I can buy into that. And you know what, maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. But nothing that I ever saw in any of the trailers or any of the teasers or any of the advertisement really got me excited for this movie. So I went into this movie going, okay, maybe it will be a pleasant surprise. So I went in with a pretty good clean slate for if this movie was going to be awesome, to surprise me, and if it was going to be bad, to disappoint me. Okay,
well, with that said, then what were some of the things you really liked about this movie?
I really did like the idea of the main villain, the way he moved, to finally have like actual ghost pirates in the genre, and of course that Barbossa was coming back. He's always a really good character and really fun to watch, and
that's it, huh?
That's pretty much it.
I shall take over for you then. I agree with you about Captain Salazar. I really, really enjoyed the way he looked and his base storyline, which we won't go into because that'll be spoilers. But for me, next to Captain Barbossa, I would say Salazar is the most terrifying. And because I wouldn't really call Barbossa terrifying, especially since his storyline continues from the first movie. Like, in the first movie, I would say Barbossa was pretty scary.
Oh, yeah.
Because, he had that motivation to go after Jack. So apply that to Captain Salazar. He has some motivation to go after Jack Sparrow, but he is way more ruthless. He is a ghost, so he's got his ghost crew. They did really cool things. So you saw this in the trailer, so I don't consider this a spoiler, but they run on water.
And the way they made that look, a lot of the special effects looked pretty cool in this. There were some spots where you're like, okay, that's CGI, but even though you knew it was, it still looked pretty good. And they made that special effect pull out and work.
Yeah. When they were running on water, and I found myself just watching the screen open mouth, like, what this looks like. This is Pirates of the Caribbean right here. There were also ghost sharks, and that's all I will say. Look out for the ghost sharks, because those are great. I really liked the two new characters. For me, I felt like it was, in a way, and that's not exactly how it, this is just speculation, but if they were to carry on to a 6th movie, I could totally see Henry and Karina returning to push the story forward with Jack, if that's the route they want to go to. As in, I wouldn't mind seeing them coming back for the next installment if they were to have the next one. And I also like the storyline. The third act, I would say, was my favorite. out of the entire movie. And there's a very specific storyline for the search of the Trident of Poseidon. And I love mythologies. And what's so great about these pirate movies is from the first, and whether you hated like some of them or not, the mythology is always on, at least on paper, is really, really great. And I felt like this storyline I was really into.
And that was also something that I kind of liked about the movie as well. And a lot of the other pirate movies, excluding one because that's an awesome, perfect movie almost, 2, 3, and 4, their storyline got very convoluted. It was all over the place. They had this and that, and then let's put this in here, and then have them do this. That makes no sense because we're still going to do this. Mm-hmm. This one, everything kind of played in line. Everything connected very well, and it made it flow and understand the timeline and the storyline a lot easier, instead of jumping all over the place like some of the other ones.
What are some things you really didn't like about this movie?
This movie was very blah for me. Where you really liked the 2 new characters, I didn't like them very much.
Okay.
Even though Salazar was a cool idea of a character, they didn't really have him in there very much. He kind of had his scene, and then a lot happened without him. Mm-hmm. Then he popped up again, and then there was a lot more without him, and then he kind of popped up at the end. And then that's it. I think it would have been cool if he was a little bit more involved in the story. And they did what they did for Davy Jones, too. They can't go on land. So that's how they were always able to escape from the bad guys in almost all of these movies.
Like an
Get on
easy
the
out.
land. Yeah.
Well, I think it is a pirates movie, which I guess like that's why I really didn't see a problem with it, because I feel like pirates they live their life on the sea, by the sea. So the land for them is almost like.
But one of the things that bothered me the most, and it's heartbreaking for me to say this, is Jack Sparrow. Throughout the entire movie, I'm sitting here, it looks like it's someone doing an impression of Johnny Depp's impression of Jack Sparrow while they are incredibly drunk. The way that he was presented was very buffoonish. In any of the other Pirates movies, you could still kind of see the genius and the brilliance of Jack Sparrow. This one, they just turn him into kind of this buffoony kind of character to where it really takes away what we love about him. And I couldn't understand half of what he said. They really made him kind of Jack Sparrow kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And it really disappointed me. There was nothing that really got me excited. There was no parts in the movie where I was like, yeah, go Pirates. Everything was just blah and just kind of not exciting.
Hence your previous comment about it being blah.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot one more positive before I go into what I didn't like. The Captain Salazar's ship. That is, I thought the Flying Dutchman was cool. Wait till you see this one. I won't give it away. And because I don't think they did in the trailer, but, oh!
It is a pretty cool looking ship. And what they did with it, the way they animated it, looked really cool.
Yeah, I really liked it. Ruthless is the key word to remember with Salazar and his crew. Okay, so some of the negatives I have for this movie, I agree with you on the Captain Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp thing. It felt like Jack Sparrow, he's evolved so much from the first movie, and in my opinion, not in a good way. By the 5th movie, he's become a caricature of himself.
Yeah.
What we knew of Jack Sparrow from the first movie, aside from what he looks like, and that he likes rum, and he has just somehow sometimes the best time luck, that's about the essence of what's left of Jack Sparrow. And it's disappointing because when he first came out in the first movie, he was such an iconic character. He had swagger, the best delivery, and what I sorely missed in this movie, and I noticed it's starting getting less and less in each pirate movie, is the amount of swashbuckling and sword fighting.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that first sword fight when they first crossed blades? Will Turner, Jack Sparrow, in the blacksmith shop, and they were on the beams, and it went with the music, and how awesome it was. Where I remember on DVD, I would rewind that scene over and over just to watch because it was so satisfying. And I really didn't see it in this movie, and I wanted it from Jack Sparrow. I really wanted him to take up the sword to show us that there is the Jack Sparrow we know and we love, that he is in there, and I didn't see any of it. I saw a lot of arms wailing, running around, and falling down a lot, which is not what I wanted from Jack Sparrow.
They did a lot of the big action scenes where they're moving around and there's explosions, but there was really not very much, you know, good shots of a sword fight, which is something you need in a Pirates movie. You need these good arrow flame kind of fights. Ugh. And it's not even in there.
There were also some very unnecessary scenes that they put in there that did not push the story forward at all, and it leaves me wonder, why were these scenes shot in the first place? What was really the purpose of them? Because I never found the purpose for them, and it just seemed to drag the movie. It actually halted the movie because it was just so, they would establish something and they never follow through, and then it was just, they just cut it off right there and then you moved on to the next thing, and then you never talked about it again. For me, scenes like that honestly just distracts from the main story.
And also there was just a lot of unnecessary characters where they kind of popped up and then you're like, okay, what was their purpose? And then you never see them again. But yet it looks like they're supposed to play a very important role. They also had a side villain that really played no purpose whatsoever. So to wrap it up, we want to give you our final thoughts and of course give you our rating for this movie. All in all, for me, this movie was very underwhelming. It wasn't quite as convoluted as 2, 3, and 4, but it was just, there was no magic of what even some of the other ones had with Jack Sparrow, which was a redeeming quality in a lot of the other movies. I was very disappointed, I got bored during this movie a lot, even during some of the big action scenes. I'm going to give this movie a 5.5.
I completely agree with what you said. I feel like as the franchise went on, the spark and the magic slowly disappeared and dissipated. And that's what I wanted to see. I was hoping that this fifth one, because there was a lot of anticipation behind it. I don't want to say hype, but anticipation behind it, that it would re-spark everyone's love for pirates. And for me, while I really liked the new characters, I thought the villain had a really cool look, and I liked the storyline, the essence of Pirates of the Caribbean, and the fact that I didn't really enjoy any of the times that I was watching Jack Sparrow on screen is a problem, because there wouldn't have been a Pirates of the Caribbean without Jack Sparrow. No, and now you get to the fifth movie and you're not enjoying the main character as it is intended to, is not a good thing. So for me, I'm going to give this movie 5.5 out of 10. Well, you guys, that's it for this review. Go ahead and comment your thoughts down in the comment section below. Are you excited to see this movie? How excited are you to see Johnny Depp coming back to play Jack Sparrow one more time? And would you want to see a 6th installment? Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.